Hey, good day everybody. I'm going to do an unboxing and review on this Porter Cable 3.2 amp 10-inch drill press. Right, here's everything it came with. First thing we're going to do is install the column onto the base here using these 3 bolts and a 13mm wrench. Now, as far as positioning goes, we're going to make it so the adjuster here is 90 degrees this way. That way the holes all line up right there. All right, the next step is to install the table lock handle. It goes right in here. Just threads right in. The next step is to install the worm gear. It's going to go right in here. It looks like it's engaging. Yep, there we go. It needs to engage the gear right there, the inside gear. Okay, now before we put this on here, this collar has to come off. So they provide an Allen wrench, so just loosen that up. Take that off of there. Go ahead and put the crank handle on here. And we'll have to tighten that up on there with that set screw right there. It's gonna secure it. Right now it's loose, it won't fit, so we'll tighten that up right there. That way we can crank this thing around. Okay, now when you put this on, it goes on with the arrow facing up. When you install this, it's gotta be installed with these two together. The teeth, what they're talking about in the directions there, the teeth on this have to already be engaged in that. So what you need to do is they get installed together. You slide the rack. That's the rack is this right here. This is the rack. So you slide the rack into this here and then drop it down over the tube together, just like this. So pull it all the way out, put the rack in, engage the gears like that, and then drop it down in there, and then this thing will sit right down in there. Now we'll go ahead and put the collar on and snug that up. Now you see that way, this thing, there we go. All right, just to really show you, kind of send the point home here, I pulled this back off to show you, because the directions don't really do this, don't explain it very well in my opinion on how to get this thing on there, but you want to make sure that this thing is somewhere in the column of the rack and the teeth are engaged on the worm gear in there. So I'm just holding it like that, and then I'll slide the whole thing on. Again, the collar's removed, collar's sitting right there, and then this is just going to go. You don't want to have it all the way to the bottom or all the way to the top. Arrow up, and then it's just going to sit down right on this thing. It gets installed together, just like that. Okay, there we go. Now you can see it'll go up and down, real nice. Okay, now what we'll do is we want to secure this thing up here with the collar. Tighten that down. Snug, don't over tighten this. Got free range of motion here. That all is working good. This is tight, the collar's tight. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the head on here. Okay, it took 2 hands to just slide that on there. The directions recommend a 2-person lift. I was able to easily do it with just 1 person. And then the 2 tightening screws on that are gonna be right here. So I made sure they were loose before I slid it down over the column here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten these up. Crank them down and don't over tighten them. That one's good. And this one's good. There we go. Okay, now on the side of the head here, we're gonna go ahead and install these 3 red handles. They just screw right in here. Okay, here's the parts that we got left. We gotta install the batteries. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and install this to the spindle here, and they say to clean it all out, clean the inside of this out too with a non-alcohol based cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up real good. They say any grease or grime, dirt, or anything at all can make this thing not function properly and come loose. We'll go ahead and clean that all out real good and make sure it's completely residue free. For installing this thing, see how these are all the way protruded out? This is the opposite of what you want. You want these things all the way receded into here. So we're gonna go ahead and rotate this thing so these teeth here, the grippers, are fully receded. There is what we're after. Fully receded in there, fully cleaned out, and the spindle fully cleaned out as well. Okay, with the jaws fully receded into the chuck, we're gonna go ahead and put it on there. We're gonna smack it on there a little bit with the hammer. It's gonna slide up on there. We're gonna use a mallet, actually a piece of wood, so we don't damage this. All right, I gave this thing some love, so I can't pull it off, so I think it's gonna be good to go. Looks like it's gonna function just fine too. Yep, the chuck goes right in here. The chuck key snaps right in there. Okay, the other thing to do is if you're gonna install this permanently, and actually you wanna do this before operation, is put in 2 securing bolts down there to whatever table you're gonna work on. Okay, to install the batteries, there's a little tab under here. Push that, and that'll pop right out. You just put your batteries in there. And it just pops right back on. The top part in first. There we go. I'll show you the light will come on there, which is your light for down here.